playing in puddles and driving in the rain. The first two things that you're going to have to learn to turn on for the secondary controls is the windshield wipers and the defrost, because the windows are going to fog up when you're driving in the rain. And for the purposes of a road test, you're going to have to be able to know how to do those two things. So practice that if you haven't practiced that already. And as well, to help assist defrosting the windows in the vehicle, turn your air conditioning on and roll one of the windows down just a little touch so you got some circulation through the cabin of your vehicle. So, driving in the rain, you're going to have to turn your windshield wipers on intermittent, low or high. It's going to be raining really, really hard if you're turning them on high. So figure that out as well. And I'll put a card up in the corner for you on secondary controls of the vehicle. Now, obviously most of the time it's going to be overcast when it's raining, so you want to put your headlights on. Windshield wipers on, headlights on. If they don't come on automatically as they do on most vehicles, then turn your headlights on. Now, as well here, you can see the tracks, the ruts where the vehicles drive here. This is a road used by heavy vehicles, and there's ruts and the water sits in those ruts. If you don't have good tires on your vehicle, you're going to hydroplane. Hydroplaning means that the tire rides up on top of the water and you lose control. And the first time that happens to you, that can be a bit daunting. So, know that. And basically, you don't want to be using cruise control if it's raining that heavily or there's water sitting in the troughs and you simply want to let off the throttle. Take your foot off the gas pedal and the vehicle will slow down and it will sit back in there. Now, you just saw that in the dash cam there. There is water pooling on the roadway. We've had a lot of rain here. So know that if you hit that, you could potentially lose control if you're going at a high speed, because the tires will just ride up on top of the pool of water and you have zero control. So know that when it's raining heavily. Now, when it's overcast, it's going to be more difficult to see in the rain. So follow the other traffic most of the time. At least we hope that the traffic is going to be on the roadway. So know that. Have your windshield wipers on. The other thing that you can do is use Rain-X on your windshield, especially if you're driving a lot in the rain or you're living on Vancouver Island or in Seattle or places like that where they have a lot of rain. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go up on the highway and I'll show you how to drive in the rain on the highway. If you're new to Smart Drive Test, my name's Rick. I'm a licensed driving instructor. I teach cars, trucks, buses, and air brakes. And I've also authored the book Air Brakes Explained Simply. You can find all that over at the website here. And talking about larger vehicles, know that once you get out onto the highway, there's going to be a lot of spray coming off the back of these larger vehicles, so you want to stay back and increase your following distance when you're driving in the rain. You probably want to increase your distance out 3 to 5 seconds when you're driving in the rain so that you have clear vision going down the roadway. If you get right up behind a tractor trailer, and I'll actually show you that when I get out here, I'll get up behind a larger vehicle and you can see the spray coming off the back of the vehicle, which is going to impede your vision and make it difficult to see. Now, the other thing you want to do in combination with increasing your following distance is you want to brake earlier, because know that it's going to be slippery. So this is going to be driving like in the winter time. So you're going to brake early, creep up to where you actually want to stop, and then stop where you want to stop, right? And you can see as well when you're following other traffic, you can see the spray coming off. There's water sitting on the road right here. That's your other indicator, is the spray coming off the other vehicles. You can see the water sitting on the roadway, and that will prevent you from hydroplaning. That is your danger when it's raining a lot. And I can tell you right now, here it is raining a lot. And you can see that I have a really big following distance behind this vehicle here. Now, we're going to show you the amount of spray coming off the back of this tractor here, because he's going to get it going here. And the wheels are exposed on the back of this tractor because he doesn't have a trailer sitting over top of the tires. So there's a lot of spray coming off the back of that bobtail truck. As well, you have no idea what experience that driver in that bobtail has. And that bobtail is probably one of the most dangerous vehicles on the roadway. And you can see now that it's raining a lot. There's a lot of spray coming off the traffic. And I'm going to turn my windshield wipers on high to try and give you a better view in the dash cam. But you can see there's a lot of spray coming off that tractor. That road tractor is called a bobtail when it's no trailer on the back. You also saw the water spray up over the abutment in the middle there, and that tells you that there's water lying on the roadway. And again, the hazard that we talked about before was hydroplaning, when there's water sitting on the roadway, and it's going to be like that at the bottom of the hill and whatnot out here on the highway. I want to show you how much spray is coming off that truck. You can probably see that in the other camera there. This is why you need to increase your following distance coming past these trucks. And the other thing with this big truck behind me here, I'm also staying over to the right side of my lane. And you probably heard the beeping there a couple of times. I have a new dash cam and it's telling me lane departure. It can actually see the lines on the roadway and it tells me when I'm departing out of my lane, which may be a good thing for those of you driving a lot. And see, you can see the amount of spray coming off that truck there. This is why you need to give these a really wide berth when you're learning how to drive and these big trucks go by here. I've got my windshield wipers on high and there's just a huge amount of spray. The other reason that there's so much spray coming off that truck is because he's out in the passing lane. There aren't as many vehicles in there, so the water tends to sit in that lane more. So know that when you're driving, that when you get out into that passing lane, there's a higher probability that you could potentially hydroplane because there's more water sitting on that lane because the cars aren't driving on it and pushing it out of the lane into the shoulder and whatnot. Okay, even the pickup truck, you can see a lot of spray coming off that pickup truck. Again, this is what you want to do. You want to stay back, and that way you're not going to get caught into the spray, and that guy just deviated into my lane, so I just let off and let him go. And the other thing you'll want to do is, for some of you, you're going to be able to turn on the rear window defrost. All new vehicles are going to have rear window defrost, so you'll want to put that on as well so you can see out the back. Some of them will have windshield wipers. My windshield wiper on the back doesn't work, but my mirrors, I can see out the back really clearly. The other thing about driving in the rain is the increased amount of road noise that you're going to have because of the water. So know that if you're driving a long time, it's going to contribute to your fatigue is the amount of noise and the windshield wipers and whatnot. So there's going to be a lot of increased noise when you're driving in the rain. And I'm driving in the mountains here. You can see the clouds hanging on the mountains. Know that that's going to happen, and you're at higher elevations, you're going to get into fog. It's not actually fog, it's actually clouds that you're driving through, which is kind of a weird idea for those of us from the east. And again, there's definitely water lying on the road here, and you can probably see that in the camera. And it's pushing me around a little bit. It's not a lot because I've got fairly good tires on it. And if you've got good tires on your vehicle, good tires, the tread will actually pump up to 1 gallon of water per second away from underneath the tire so that the tire continues to maintain contact with the road surface. That's the purpose of tread, is to pump the water out from underneath the tire. At least good rain tires as opposed to winter tires and whatnot. They obviously have different purposes. So tires are kind of like cars. They have different purposes depending on what you want the tires to do. If you're driving in a rain climate, you might want to consider putting specific rain tires on your vehicle. And I'm watching the traffic coming up behind me as well because I'm in the passing lane. And as soon as I get past this truck, you can see the amount of spray coming off the tires on this truck here. Just know that when you're driving out on the highway, there's going to be trucks, bigger vehicles and whatnot. There's going to be a lot of spray. I got water on the roadway right here, lots of water. So I want to just let off the throttle, hold the steering wheel with 2 hands, and drive through the water. I can actually see it on the roadway. And at night, that's going to be a bit more challenging. You will get some glare off the roadway, the water surface reflecting and whatnot, but know there's going to be water on the roadway. And this is why this person in front of me is braking. And when you've got water on the roadway, you do not want to be on the brakes. I'm just off the throttle. I just got my foot off the throttle. I'm maintaining a good following distance because when you're braking and the vehicle is potentially hydroplaning on top of that water, you're going to lose control. Get your foot off the brake. Think of it like driving on ice and snow. It's exactly the same thing. You want the tires to roll. If the tires aren't rolling, you're going to lose. You potentially could lose control. So if you're hydroplaning, just work the throttle. Don't work the brake. Okay, because the brake is going to get you into trouble. So just work the throttle to prevent hydroplaning. And if you've got these other vehicles in front of you that are on the brake, just give them lots and lots of room That way you're not going to get into trouble. There we saw the puddle of water on the side of the road there. Again, just off the throttle, hold the steering wheel with both hands, nice and easy, and go through the puddle of water so you don't lose control. For another video, click here, and remember, pick the best answer, not necessarily the right answer. Have a great day. Bye now.